I always wanted a dad. Never had one, but now I get to play one.
Right.
So I get to be one. It's
Yeah,
the
I'm about
most
to say you get to
important.
be one.
Yeah, I get to be,
Yeah.
and I love being a dad. And to me, I don't look at a kid like that's mine or not mine. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like you a child, and you're with me. You're my child, no matter what. So, and I know it's gonna come a time, right? You're gonna go. Oh, you're not my father, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool. You're right. I'm not your dad, but I am your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not your dad, but I am your dad. And I could take whatever comes along
And
with that.
as a kid that been there, I can tell you, we say that in that moment because we're upset, we're teenagers, we're young, our mind isn't fully formed. But I promise you, we come back and that apology is 10 freaking fold because we understand. But as a kid, you can't expect kids to understand.
But also, let me say this. Let me piggyback off what you said, because you mentioned
You're talking about
that-
the time,
Yeah,
but
the
the-
time.
Yeah.
See, you have to understand. In those times, women used to honor men. You know, when a man came in and took over a family, that woman gave that man praise. You know, just honor, because in today's time that we're living in, being a stepfather is like basically being down. You know what I'm saying? Being down talked upon, right? Because matter of fact, I see it all the time where modern single mothers will be like, oh, a man have to bring A, B, and C, and D to me. But this man that you created this family with didn't even have to pay didn't have to pay that premium price.
But who's to say that?
No, it's going on. It's omnipresent. So why does this man, who is competitive, productive, has to come in and share his resources with you? For prime example, so if we do the Brady Bunch thing, right? If this woman have her kids, I have my kids, and we merge our family together, right? So every $100 that I spend within that household, 40% is going to go to your kids, 60% is going to go to my kids. So basically, I'm taking resources away from my biological kids to give it to your kids. Who is to say if those kids are going to appreciate me for what I'm doing for them, for being present, for being a father figure to them, right? At least I know if I have my own kids, my own biological kids, as long as I'm showing up for them, I'm taking care of them, I'm mentally present for my kids, at least I know when I become an old man one day, my kids are going to take care of me. I don't have to worry about my kids telling me, oh, you ain't my daddy. Why do I have to listen to you? And also, too, with bringing two families together, my kids may follow a certain set of rules. Your kids may follow certain set of rules. So my kids could be like, Daddy, why they do such and such and such? Why can they do this? And because you have a set of rules from your kids, they're gonna be like, damn, why can they do this and why can't I do that?
You're saying the mindsets could be
Yeah,
different.
it can be completely different. So that could confuse the kid. You get what I'm? You get what
I understand
No,
what you're
this-
saying.
no.
I get what you're saying with the
Stop saying you
mindset.
understand.
No. What I'm saying is
You
that
get what-
no. Listen, this
This
is not.
is pure
It's not.
stupidity.
It's
But what I'm saying, I understand.
No,
is-
it's not.
what-
It's stupidity.
No.
It's basically taking every reason you can think of in the book for why it wouldn't work. When you meet somebody and you're engaged with that person and you like that person, in the beginning, yes, it may be a conflict of how you parent, how I parent. It's gonna even if you didn't have kids, it's gonna happen. If I meet you and I start talking to you, how you live your life and how I live my life may be two completely different things. Over time, we mesh. Over time, you blend. That's pure stupidity. And guess what? If it comes to the point where you guys can't agree on things, it would never even get to the point that you even have to concern yourself with blended families. Because as women, mothers, I can't speak for all mothers, but I could say, I'm not going to deal with no man that don't mesh or blend well with my kids. And that doesn't mean I'm putting my kids before you. That just means as I analyze this situation that we're in, if it's not going to work, it wouldn't get to that point where we even have to go to that. But there are situations where you will blend just fine. That means that that's for you. I have a favorite phrase I like to use. I use it all the time when I'm referring to just myself, when I'm referring to dating. And I say it all the time, people need to learn their lanes. When you know your lane, you're not confused. When you're dating people that are in your, I'm in the far left lane, probably about 90% of the time. And it's quite often that I get guys that are in the far right lane, that slow lane, and somehow they made their way over to mine. And I don't understand how they got there or why they're there, but they're there. So I have to redirect them because I know just off a conversation, just off of one conversation could let me know. And I have to redirect you and say, hey, this just isn't your lane. I'm not sure how you got here, but I want to redirect you very respectfully. So I say that to say, again, it depends on you as a person. Because if you meet like-minded people, right, then the likelihood that it would be just so chaotic, what's the likelihood of that? What's the likelihood of it? You attract what you want, what you like. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that just as, like I said, I had my daughter when I was 19. If you want to be honest, I had my daughter when I was 18 because she was born 3 days before my 19th birthday. And so I've been doing this single parent thing since I don't even know. I can't even tell you when it started. This is here we are. But I've never dated a person that didn't get it. I've never dated a person that I had to fight with you about what you give your kids, what I'm giving. That's stupidity right there.
All right, let me. Can I? All right. I
No,
feel
before
bro.
you, before you.
Look, I just wanna make a quick point. Go ahead.
What I was saying, I get was the last part of what he said.
About what?
You know what I'm saying? When the last
I
part you
cut
said.
you off too. I'm sorry.
Boy, you cut me off because you slashed
Sorry.
me.
I had to get in there. Sorry.
No, what I was agreeing was the last part. What he said, he's like, yo, like, he's saying, well, how would I know that a child is gonna look out for me, right? That's not my child. Like I said again, I understand that part, but what I'm saying, I understand. I'm saying I understand his concern, his personal concerns.
That
Those
is
are,
a crazy concern.
but those are his personal concerns.
I
But
understand.
what I'm see,
Because my opinion.
you see what I'm saying?
understand.
That's what I was
Bro,
saying.
yeah, okay.
But
Because my opinion shouldn't have dominion over anyone.
no,
else.
but for me, what I'm saying is for me, dog. Like I said, I'm a big kid, bro.
Yeah.
I run around in my house. I play in the rain with my son, bro. I run around, and it's not just because it's my son. I would that with any kid, bro. I just love to have fun and be a kid. I'm a big kid,
Right.
bro. I can't help it.
Right.
My wife get mad at me. You ain't like a child. I'm a child, bro. I like to have fun, and I think that spirit in me just makes me get along with. I just love
Right.
all kids.
Right.
So I
I
don't.
love kids. I'm not saying I don't love kids.
No, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
for me, my mindset is not like that's mine. That's not mine. I don't
Right.
like. It's even with adults, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Kids even more. Whatever I got going on with my kids, if it's a kids around me, we all involved. I don't. There's no distinguish. If I'm eating, you know how everybody
We all
eating.
eat,
Yeah,
But that's just how I am, bro. Like I'm very family orientated,
Yeah.
and I love people, and I love kids even more because they're innocent.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like, wow, and I protect them the way I wanted to be protected when
Right,
I was a kid.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah.
That's just again, that's my take. That's how
Yeah.
I am.
But let me make a point, bro. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking about what's going on in these recent times, right? And let me make another point. No man that is productive and competitive want to be restricted, right? I'm gonna give you an example, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna use you as an example. You're married, you have your wife, and you have your kids, right? Supposedly you get off from work, you want to go home and you want to enjoy your wife, right? It's easy for you to come home, and if your kids are past their bedtime, it's easy for you to say, "Hey, son, Janiyah and whatever it's your son, me and your mama, we got some things to take care of. It's time for you to go to your
it's
room.
Princess Naya, Princess Shy, and Pop
Right.
Pop.
It's time for you to go to your room.
Yeah,
Me
it's
and
three.
your mama got some things to handle. But if I'm a stepdad and I come home and I say something to those kids, if I say, hey, it's time for you guys to go to sleep, some woman, I'm not saying all, some woman would take offense to it. They'd be like, well, why are you talking to my kids like that? You shouldn't tell them when they go to bed or not. It happens all the time. So that's
Where
the
are these
reason why
statistics coming from?
it's happening. We're living in 2024. Come on now, let's
Well,
let's not play crazy like we don't know this is.
Well,
really
I think
happening.
remember we had the conversation we had when we had the Dear
Mm-hmm.
Black Woman episode, and I was saying that I feel like a lot of times, not just black men but black women
Mm-hmm.
as well, they don't do their due diligence. And what I meant by that is if I meet a woman, she has children,
Mm-hmm.
and me and her we've become, because it's gonna take time for
Mm-hmm.
us to live together, and so I'm with this woman, we're dating,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually we get more serious, and I would hope that she would see the way I treat her kids with love and admiration, whatever, so that when we are living together, if I say, hey, it's time for everybody to go to sleep,
Right.
I would hope she would know it's coming from a good place. She's not going to intervene. Because as a man, she would understand, like, oh, we're going to go spend some time together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would hope.
Yeah.
Like I say, for me, like, I like to study. I like to do homework. I don't like to, I never like to dive into anything.
Yeah.
Right.
The one time I ever dove into anything, woof,
And for me to clear this up, bro, let me make this clear. And when I'm speaking, I'm not talking about single traditional mothers. I'm not talking about those. I'm not talking about single traditional. I'm talking about single modern mothers.
But as a man,
in
as a
2024.
man, okay,
That's
but,
what I'm
but as a
speaking
person such as yourself who's very traditional,
on.
right? There's no way you're gonna fall into that kind of situation because you're traditional.
Right.
So that means the woman you're gonna be looking for is gonna fit that criteria.
Right.
Right. So those examples won't even shouldn't even exist because in your mind you're gonna do your homework.
Right,
That's what I'm
exactly,
saying. Like and I
But you're
understand.
saying them or speaking them as
Damn,
if this
V,
is something
why you
that
ain't let
you
me
would
finish? I
expect
had a good point
to
going.
realize. Cause y'all, I've been letting y'all talk.
No,
Go
but I
ahead,
had a
go
good. I
ahead.
was trying to. Go ahead. I was trying to make
ahead.
drive a point home.
Go
But
ahead,
no,
drive
no,
a
no.
point
I,
home.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because your point, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Because again, like I said, I'm listening as from a woman. So my responses to you are based upon what you're saying. So it's like it's almost like counterproductive because you're saying one thing and then you're saying something else. So you're saying I'm not speaking for. Okay, so that's what makes it like a little bit difficult because when you say these are happening right now in these times. I need statistics. I need data. I need something to support that. And the reason I'm going to say that is because, again, when you say traditional, you're not talking about modern. It's so tricky going into that area, right? I consider myself to be a modern woman.
Okay.
However, I was raised on traditional values.
Okay.
So it depends on how you would then categorize, right? That's your choice, what you see, how you, and it so on and so forth for every other man. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, so to say that's what's going on right now, I have to disagree. And I'm disagreeing because I am a modern woman. And I have modern friends that are single mothers that would completely wholeheartedly disagree with what you're saying.
I get your point, but let me ask you this, Vic. So you don't think that a man that is productive and competitive, taking on a pre-made family, so you telling me that's a good thing? How okay, let me ask you this. How are your kids are going to be an asset to me if I was dating you?
I would never date a man that ever asked me no craziness like that.
See,
I would never.
But that's
Because
the
you would
problem.
never ask me how my kids would be an asset to you.
that's the thing.
That's insanity.
But see, I'm coming from a logical standpoint. You
I
have
don't
to ask
think
those questions.
any woman
And let me say one more
is
thing.
going to
Vic.
let you say, how can your kids be an... No, sweetie. No.
It's the truth.
No, it's not.
If
Because
I'm-
if we're
listen,
talking about we're
listen.
living in a world.
Uh-huh.
No, because we're talking about living in a world where you're constantly putting the male on this pedestal and you're forgetting that this is not the old days. So right now at this point, there are a lot of men that sit on a pedestal, but baby, their pedestal is way, way beneath that woman's. I'm not done.
Okay,
so
go
when
ahead.
you say, what can you bring to the table? I feel like that goes both ways these days. Traditionally, back in old days, women couldn't bring that much. We didn't have that much. We weren't able to accomplish as much. But we have come very, very far. And I'm going to say that as a single mother myself, that a lot of men cannot even sit at the table with me if I'm being honest. And I still give them a seat. I still push the seat open for them to sit down and show me what they can bring to the table for me. Because I know intellectually, I know financially, I know on a 1,000 different levels, they don't even meet me halfway. So when you make a statement like that, again, like I said, I'm a single mother. I'm a modern woman. I have so many friends across, not just in Florida, this is not Miami. I'm talking about friends, period. And they're single mothers, but they bring a lot to the table. And for a man to ever ask me what my kids could do to benefit him, he would never even speak to me again.
All right, but let me ask you this question, Vic. So do you want a man to come in there and share his resources with your kids?
I have a question.
No.
I have to counter it. I have to counter
answer
it.
Just answer it. I need
He's
a yes
sharing
or no.
it.
I
Do I
need a
want him
yes.
to come in and share his resources with my
Vic.
children?
Yes or no.
I'm trying to get clarity
Okay.
on a question.
If you're dating a man,
What is the resources that he's sharing with my children?
his finances.
I don't need 'em.
Because Vic, that's cap. I don't care what you say, Vic. Listen, Vic, I don't care. If a man is dating a woman at some point in time, Vic, a woman
Let's
is
get
going to
into it.
want a man to share his finances in the household. So
Yes.
you telling me you're going to sleep, you're going to lay up there, you're going to date a man, you're going to sleep with that man, and you ain't going to ask that man to contribute his finances
So
with your kids?
here's the kicker.
I find that to be hard to understand.
the
That is
kicker.
cap. I'm sorry.
Here's the
That's
kicker.
cap.
Here's the kicker, and we're gonna clear it up.
Go ahead.
I never said I would expect a man to come in and share his not share his finances. I never said that.
That's his
I
resources.
okay, if that's all the resources he has, that's problem number one. We're gonna start. No, that's definitely problem
That's his
number one.
resources.
That's not enough for me.
How
So
that's not
again,
enough?
it's not because I have my own money. So when you start talking about modern women and you're sitting in front of a woman that makes well over 6 figures a year, you're not going to tell me that a man can step through that door and tell me what can your kids do for me? No, baby, what can you do for this household? Because this household runs effortlessly without your finances.
Okay, Vic,
so so the expectation would be if you're stepping through this door. Why would you step through my door and you're not
All right,
able to
Vic,
provide any
okay,
resources?
Vic, okay, Vic, listen, I don't care if you make 6 figures. You know why? Because At the end of the day, your 6 figures is for you. You would never share it with me. At the end of the day,
Why would you think
listen,
that?
But Vic, listen. At the end of the day, whether you make 6 figures or not, you will still want a man to come through there to take over the finances, to take that burden off your shoulders. Don't give it to Vic. Every woman wants that. So when I hear women say that they're not looking for a man to share their resources, that is cap. Let me finish making another point.
No, you
This
can't.
is another risk. Listen, Ralph, let me make this one final point. This is another risk of a man that is competitive and productive, that's getting into a situation where he's dealing with a pre-made family. Who was to say, if I was to marry you and you divorced me, you will go to the courthouse and put me on child support for the next 18 years for kids that don't even belong to me. And matter of fact, even if I'm not married to you, if I've been dating you for a substantial amount of time, depending on what the state, you can still go and put me on child support for 18 years for kids that are not mine. So to close it off, a man, a productive man that's dating a single modern baby mom in this generation, that's a lose-lose situation. And I'm gonna end it like that.
I don't have much. I don't have much to add. The only thing I could say is I hate that has been your experience. I hate that those are the women that you have encountered one way or another,
No, I'm
not
speaking in
personally,
general. Speaking in general.
one way or another. I hate that for you. I hate that for your friends. I hate that for anyone that you know, because that is not reality. That is not the reality that we're living in. That is actually a bubble in which we choose to put ourselves in. I'm going to go back to my statement that there are lanes. And I learned when I stay in my lane and I don't allow people that don't belong in my lane, I don't have any of those problems that you're referring to. Not one.
Let me ask you this one question, Vic. In the animal kingdom, when a lion takes over...
I don't care about them.
No, you have to, because it's still nature, right? When a lion take over a pride, right? What does that male lion does to those cubs of the other pride that he took over? What does that lion do?
Would you rather have been a lion?
No, I'm a
human.
Okay, you know what that lion would do? That lion would kill those cubs.
Yeah, I'm a
because,
human.
You know why? I understand you're human, but I'm saying that because by nature, men, we are territorial. We do not want to deal with. We don't want to take on pre-made families.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Let me intervene.